Alright, I'm going to show you how to fix an F11 error code on a Frigidaire Gallery stove. Super fast, easy, and with very minimal tools. You can do this by yourself, no problem, I guarantee it. First thing you're going to need is to line up your tools. I recommend a headlamp, just so if your lighting isn't great in your kitchen or wherever you have your stove. A 1/4-inch driver. And what I like to use is a multi-bit screwdriver. What you need is a number 6 or a number 1 Robertson and a Phillips end. So first thing you're going to do before you even get to this point is you're going to turn off the breaker to the stove, and you're going to unplug it after you pull it out. But after you get to that point, you're going to just take off this back panel. There's 6 screws. Mine had a 2 1/4-inch nuts and then 4 number 6 Robertson screws. So it may be slightly different. Maybe the previous owner had this worked on. I'm not entirely sure. But this error seems to happen when people either clean their stove or you get a buildup of grease or moisture behind the control panel. And you can save yourself about $500 by doing it yourself. Okay, so here's my 2 that I had, a 1/4-inch nut driver that I had to use. And I would recommend leaving the last screw in the middle at the top so you avoid what I did. Luckily I caught it. But anyways, you take that back panel off and you'll expose the back of the control module. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. You're going to have 4 Phillips screws that you're going to have to take off to get this control module out so you can get the front face off. So here I'm pointing them out to you. And now I'm going to go ahead and undo those screws. If you don't do a lot of repairs, maybe you just have a dish or something nearby so that you don't lose these screws and you're able to put them back in pretty quickly. If you're not sure where everything goes, what you can do is I recommend taking photos of everything before you take it out. So if you need to, you can reference it. Okay, once you have this loose, it'll just kind of come right out. And I'm going to recommend that you unplug all the wires so that you can work on this a little easier. So here's a picture of all the plugs that you have to take off, starting from left to right. Some of them may have little retaining clips, so to be careful, just don't pull on them, but take a photo so you can remember. And there's one grounding wire 4th from the left. Make sure you undo them all. Once you have them undone, what you want to do is you want to peel off the front face of the control panel, and just be careful that you're peeling off only the black portion and not the little circuit board that's behind it. It should be pretty sticky. You might have to work it out a little bit. But what will happen is you'll expose this. And if you take a quick look at it, you might be able to find some imperfections where there might be some dirt or moisture or something that's on one of those contacts. I think I maybe identified 2 of mine that looked like they were a bit dirty, but I think, you've come this far, I would just do them all. So there's one that I think maybe, and then the other one I point out right here. All right, let's get to cleaning. So what you're going to use to clean this is isopropyl alcohol. And what I found worked really good is Q-tips. So I'll just get my banana bread out of the way here. So just take the alcohol, pour it in a little dish, and then, like I got here, lined up, and then grab some Q-tips. And then all you're going to do is dab the Q-tip in alcohol and work away at cleaning each one of these. You can see that it's pretty dirty. So I'm going to try to speed this up for you, but you just go one by one, keep dabbing the Q-tip in the alcohol, and clean every single bit of that surface. All right, so you can see it was pretty dirty. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing, but with the contacts, or where the contacts line up with the plastic cover. Okay, now that we're all done, you're going to take the plastic cover and you're going to put it back on the little circuit board. Make sure that you line it up good so that your buttons are actually in the right place. Once you have it on, press it down, make sure that it's stuck, and we're going to put it back on the stove. Okay, so here when you're putting this back on, what you might want to do is you might want to reference your picture that you took earlier, where you can go back on this video. I like to start with the red one, put it back together. Now you can't drop this thing, it's not going to fall off. We should basically just work back and plug them all in. As you're plugging them in, just make sure they're snug, maybe give them a slight tug, not too hard. And for this last ground wire, unless the actual contact is really corroded, you should be able to just slide it on like the other plugs. There you go. Next thing we're going to do is place it back in place, line up the holes, put the screws back in and tighten it back up. Alright, so once you have that back in place, it's time to put the back panel back on. Okay, you can just line up the holes. Here's what I should have done when I took off the back panel, but start with the top middle one. It'll hold everything in place and you can let go of it and it won't come crashing down. Once you get that back in there, just finish up with the other 5 and you should be good to go. You can plug it back in, put the stove back in its place, and turn on your power. Alright, so this is me testing it out. The F11 is gone after I turned on my power. The annoying beeping is gone. And unfortunately, I still have to make dinner. If this helped you out, please comment or like the video. Thanks.